Okay, so I need to replace the door lock actuator. It's connected to the door latch. So to get it out, there's a couple of things you need to disconnect in here. See if I can point to some things. I've already got a few things disconnected. Obviously, you've got the electrical connectors. Those are pretty straightforward. Then you've got two rods. So this rod goes up to your door handle. It connects right here. It's got this plastic clip. So you have to push. Let's see. If you see this part of the clip right here, you have to push out on it. And a lot of times it's a two-handed operation to get it open. But you pry that clip open and this rod comes disconnected. Then this rod goes up to your door handle, the lock cylinder. Goes all the way up and you just pry back on that. I don't think you can see it with where the camera's at. Yeah, there we go. It's a little better. This connects right there. Just pry back on this and it will pop out. So that's how that comes disconnected. Then this rod right here, that's the one we just disconnected at the clip. That will stay in the car. And then, like I said, disconnect your 3 electrical connectors. Okay, looking from outside of the door panel. So you've got these 2 rods. One goes here to the door handle, the kind of the paddle, and then this is the manual door lock. These 2 rods are going to come out with the door latch and the door lock actuator, that assembly. To get the door handle assembly disconnected, there's a T15 screw that goes right in here. When you take that screw out, see they're kind of like little clips right there. Just kind of push back on the unit and those will disconnect. And then on this side, once you've got those out, the whole thing kind of slides out. So I'm going to leave that there for the moment. And then there's a rubber grommet here. Sometimes it's referred to as an anti-rattle clip or something like that. If you pry on this, it will come out. Just kind of presses in there. Then the last thing that's going to be holding all of this in, swing the door. We've got 3 Torx screws there. They would be a T30. So these need to come out. And then all of it should come out together. The handle and the latch assembly, which has got our door lock actuator with it. So I'm going to keep making progress, and we'll check in here in a second. Okay, so I've got our door latch assembly with the 2 rods that connect to our door handle over here on the workbench. And if you look in there, we'd like to disconnect these 2 rods from the handle so we can take things apart. If you look in there, I don't know how well you can see from this angle, right? If you just try to push up on the rod right now, you can't get it out. But if you flip it over like so, then the rods just pop out and the handle assembly comes loose. Okay, so once you have the handle disconnected from the 2 rods on the latch assembly, it's time to remove the door lock actuator. So there are 2 screws in the back here, there, and there, that you have to remove. I think they're a T10 Torx screw. It will come apart, and then see if I can put the camera down. One thing I want to highlight I've already kind of got it disconnected, but you'll see in here the teeth of the gear, how they mesh together. So when you pull this apart, make sure when you go to put the new one in, make sure the teeth are aligned the same way so that they line up with the latch assembly. And also, it won't disconnect quite that easy. This rubber piece here, you'll see it fits down in here. Just kind of twist it and that rubber piece will pull out. Let me set that to the side. So, in comparing this one, see if I can manage not to lose my screws here. The one obvious difference is that my old one has this white piece on it. It has a third electrical connector, 1, 2, 3. And of course the new one only has the 2, but it doesn't have that piece on the side. This piece is for vehicles with the factory installed anti-theft system. And from everything I've researched, you can't get the door lock actuator with this piece anymore. You can only get this one without it. But obviously I don't want to install and leave that disconnected. So the solution is to remove this from the body of the old one, and then we're going to super glue it to the new one. That's easier said than done. The way I got this loose, right, because it's epoxied to the body here, I heated it with a heat gun, just a little bit. Don't go too crazy, because it's just plastic, but I wanted to soften the adhesive glue in there. And then I slowly worked my way in at the end with the edge of a knife and kind of pry it up a little bit, and then I worked my way along, slowly prying it up, and I had to reheat it several times. And then I slowly, just be careful with it because it's just plastic, so you don't want to break it, but it's reasonably strong, and then eventually you'll get the whole thing off. And there's like a little track in there that reads with the arm over there on the latch assembly. So clean that up a little bit, and then when you position it on this, I don't know how well you can see, but there's a little pin right there, a little alignment pin, and it lines up with the hole there. So there's no question about where and how it fits. And then we're just going to super glue it to the body of the new door lock actuator, and we'll let that set up for a little bit, and then we'll reassemble the latch. Okay, reassembly is really straightforward. So obviously you put the door lock actuator back onto the back of the latch assembly. There's just the 2 little screws that hold that assembly together. So that with the 2 rods, you connect it back to your door handle assembly, right? Remember how we flipped it over, put the 2 little things in, and you flip it back. Really easy. So you bring that whole assembly over here to the car, kind of slide it in, get your door handle situated first, kind of get that in place. You can put the little anti-rattle rubber clip on the door panel that'll help hold things. And then obviously you've got the latch assembly loose inside the door. Okay, then the view from inside the door, right, it's just the reverse of everything we took apart. So once you get the door latch assembly in place, right, remember this rod, we disconnected it from this clip. I'll get my hand out of the way. Just put the rod in place, close the clip, right, really easy. Then this back rod, it goes up to the door lock itself, the lock cylinder, and it just clips in where you took it out, right? No problem. Just clips in. You got your 3 electrical connectors, if your car has the 3, if not just the 2. And then on the outside you've got the 3 bolts that hold the latch assembly to the door itself. Really easy. So at that point, once you get everything plugged in, grab your keys and then give it a try. Right, and there you go. There's the 3 screws I mentioned before that hold the latch assembly to the door. They come in from the outside of the door. So get those good and tight. And then it's just a matter of reassembling the door panel. So we'll work on putting that back together.